I fucking love knobs. Oh. Onion. Paseo. Yogurt. Onion apercio. How are you? Oh. Oh, it's cold. Oh. Simon, the desktop audio is too loud. Oh my god, Simon, the music is too loud. We can't hear you, Simon. I'm just waiting for it to appear in chat. No, I get music is a little too quiet. I fucking love knobs. Mic muted? It is. My mic is 100% muted. This is gonna be one of those like old-timey streams. Oh, what a day. What a long fucking day. Happy Wednesday, boys. Happy Wednesday. I hope it's going better than mine. Oh. Oh, thank you, Rusty Brown, by the way. Okay. Ooh, alright. I need to drink a little bit of beer before we get into the activities for today's stream. There are a lot of activities. Mostly it's just playing catch-up. There's a lot of shit I need to do. Yeasty. Oh, dude, I just want to sniff it. Dick measuring? Yep, I will measure dicks. I am 100% the biggest dick. I mean, I know how big I am, and I'm not 10. Unsettled canned Guinness. Delicious. Oh. Listen, it's better than no Guinness. Because those are the only options I have. What are we doing today? Let's make a to-do list. Alright. 1. Fix donos. So, Stream Elements has cucked me. Their KYC process has basically locked up like $160 I'm never getting back. Because... Wait, really? Really, bro? Alright, give me a second. Before any sussy shit shows up. Alright. So, this, I took donations through Stream Elements, and basically they're holding $156 hostage because they cannot confirm automatically that I own my company, even though I gave them all the documentation. They're like, oh no, we have to do a manual process and you need to provide us with this very specific document that's going to cost me $1,000 to make with a lawyer. So rip $156. We're replacing it with coffee. All I have to do is put in notifications so they work, but I've already updated all the links and everything, and Kofi just literally links to my Stripe account, so I can take like direct donations. So I need to do that. 2, I need to fix W1 spacebar and sounds in general. 3, I need to make W1 layout usable for me, because like I've really been struggling with it. 4, I need to measure the Auru for a friend. 5, maybe find out who the hell shipped me a keyboard. I got a shipping notification and I have no fucking idea. Are you keeping the W1? No. But I'm gonna type on it for a month to do a review. Yeah, don't worry about it. What else? There was something else I needed to fucking do. Like while I was at my computer. Like something like stream related. What needs to be fixed on stream? Besides the fact that our overlays are like 36 month sub badge. Confirm. Or make. I will sell out in a little bit. Maybe it's an F1V2. I didn't know Gion shipped them from China. And I didn't know it was only 2 kilos for the entire packaging. Also, I didn't buy one. This is a keyboard I didn't pay for. This is a review board. I'm assuming it's an angle 65. It's not a Cycle 8. I hope. What keyboard did I get shipped? I don't fucking know. All right, let me kiss the gator, then we'll fix donos. I'm not gonna count it as like stream lost $156. I'll just pay it out of pocket, but it just really fucking sucks. Yeah. All right, let me sign into the thing. Give me a second, boys. Really? Oh, really? No, I'm not gonna fucking do it until after I sign in. I'm not gonna fucking try and type my password. You monster. You absolute fucking monster. Yeah, that would have been untypable, by the way. All of this would have been untypable, like username and password. All right, we're gonna do this, then we're gonna swap to the Beppo van, okay? Stream alerts, and then copy, and then add browser source. Donos, boom. Okay, boom. And where is it? Control audio. Wait, why is it float there? Don't float there. No, I don't want you to float. What the fuck? Is it that? No, that's... Yep, that's the one. Okay. Do I have to save? Is there a save button?
New donation from someone.
That is loud. That is loud. Okay. Doesn't live update. It does. It does live update. Okay, we're chilling. All right. So now I just need to copy that to every single other overlay. Okay. Give me a second. So copy. This is gonna get wild. So paste. We already have it here. No, we don't. Okay. Add it there. There. Add it 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 there. 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 There.
Fuck.
There. Okay. We have now added it to all of the donation interfaces, or all of my scenes. So hopefully donations should now work. And I'm not gonna get cucked by KYC. So F's in chat for the $156. That's basically gone forever. Feels fucking bad. I will now switch to the Beppo event. Goodbye, Cycle 7. Actually, my Cycle 7... How much was it? I don't recall. I think shipped, it was like... 160 something? Yeah, basically a Cycle 7. I wanted him to use it to enter his password. I couldn't have. It's literally impossible. Alright, what was our goals? Okay, so this is done. Fuck. Okay. Next, W1. Or do we try 36-month sub badge? Let's try this. Let's see if I can actually Photoshop with this. So settings, content. Your rewards, channel points, notes, drops, rewards. That's in the partner section. Subscriber badges. Alright. We do not have a 3-year badge. Interesting. Do we have our 2.5-year badge saved? 2.5. Okay. How many months is 2.5? 30? Is it 30 months? Look at me. Fucking saved it. Fuck, how do we build on this? How do we actually build on this? How do we get more epic than this? I don't fucking know. I mean, as is customary, 1.5 to 2.5. Wait. So we have eggplant for first year, and then halfway into your second year, you get a carrot. I think at the third year, like, it needs to be a different, I was gonna say fruit. It needs to be a different fruit. Oh, that one is so good. Oh, that one is unironically so good. This one looks like a cock. We're gonna use the one that looks like a cock. Attribution required. Oh, really? Oh, really? Oh, really? Yeah, buddy. Fuck, where's my control? Hey, I got it. Ah, it has no transparency because it's stupid. Okay. Alright. Fuck. That was not the button I was looking for. Fuck, this is so hard. Okay. Come on. Ah. Alright. Alright, we have a leak. Okay? I think it should just be a leak. I think it should literally just be a leak. Because 1 year base is eggplant, basically 2 year base is carrot, like raw carrot. It should just be straight leek. It should be just straight leek. And then we'll expand upon it for 3.5 year, 4 year, and then 4.5. No, I'll do leek for 3 year and 3.5 year. So 3.5 will be like mega epic, and then year 4, maybe we look into another fruit.
I fucking love
file,
gnomes.
save as. How do I need to upload it? Give me a second. Okay, so 72, 36, and 18. Yeah, good luck me doing Alt-Shift-Control-S. Nope, I nailed it. I am a god. Bow before me. See, I can literally just use a 40%. I'm just so good. We call this leak 1. Okay. The other one is 36, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 36. 36. Leak 2. And then finally, last one is 18, right? Yeah. Oh, I just nailed the numbers too. Leak 3. There we go. All right. Boom. Leak 3. Leak 2. Leak 1. Oh. Oh. Fuck yeah. Alright. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the leak. I put it in the wrong slot. I put it in the wrong slot. Hey, is it even a Simon stream if I fucking put something in backwards? All right, a few people should have the leak, but it probably won't show up until like midway or like after the stream. All right. Fuck yeah. All right, let's fix W1 spacebar. I presume I've been using the cuck van for at least 5 minutes. All right. Where the leak grows, right here. All right, so if I'm gonna open it, I'm actually gonna go with firmer tadpoles, because the soft tadpoles were not the play for a 1.2 playlist. Also, the spacebar is not looped at all, so we're gonna swap it out with a Tangy. Rakan, you're welcome. You're getting a Tangy. An official Simon special Tangy. That wasn't 5 minutes. I mean, I'm not typing anymore. Yeah, that's no good. It's fine. Tenji is just better as a spacebar switch. And they were all professionally looped by Krellbit, our Lord and Savior. Okay, are there screws under this? I feel like there are. Okay, I presume this is for the. I was gonna say I presume this one's gonna be for the plate. Yeah, the plate in my W1. Got a very innovative type of plate, you know. A very special plate. I don't know about tadpoles, but softer O-rings tend to sound higher pitched IMO. Maybe. What are you gonna do with your nutsters? I'm gonna share them with all my friends. And probably give away a bunch of them at a meetup and You know, put them on XT, like XT columns and all that stuff. I would not redeem a dance today. Hold on to it one. Everybody's trying to fucking add the stoppers. Oh, can we not? I mean, I can try, but I really don't want to do it until like after I'm like fully done with the build and like gonna ship it to you. When OGR build? If I'm not mistaken, it's not my next build, but it's the build after that. Or is it? Fuck, I don't even know the... Dude, I have so many boards to build and review. It's driving me crazy. So, once we fix this today, this is going to the office for me to start typing on it for review. So, it's going to the office for 4 weeks. The Brutal 1800 is coming home tomorrow. And I'll start, you know, like, getting the first bits of the review done. I still need to buy Cycle 7. Go, buy it. Right now. Go. Go buy it. Alright. Alright. We absolutely have to swap the tadpoles. Oh. Look at this. Look at it. Look at... Like, there's caps and switches on this. I'm not even using much force, by the way. This is like the teensiest bit of force. Okay, something just flew out. Guys, what's this? What the fuck is this? Why was that in there? Good thing we shook it. Bro, I don't know. It was in there. It's like treasure. Still don't know what to do with the washers? Don't worry about it. I know what to do with the washers. Alright. Let me get the spacebar off. Alright, you know what? Fuck it. Alright, well. Woo. Yeah, this is a League Bro thing. By the way, League Bros are just so incredibly tight. That's fine. We're gonna desolder that anyways. Okay, why is there only one shim? There's the other shim. Alright. We're just gonna desolder this, put in a tangy real quick, and then I will put the stoppers on the spacebar. It's probably the stab shims? No, the stab shims are over here. Alright, let me find a tangy. Do I have a tangy on my desk? Come on, come on. I need to always have a tangy on my desk. It's like my rule of like being a streamer. There are tangy in this box of C3 wires. No. There are tangy in my prep bag. Where's my prep bag? No. I have failed you. I have failed you, boys. I do not have a tangy on my desk. Black shims on a black desk mat. What could go wrong? I have eyes, okay? I have big eyes. The better to see stab shims with, okay? Oh. Look, guys, I found another ISO. All right. Oh, where's my pansies at? I love how my label maker is just like in there with the switches. found them. There's my tangies. What that numpad stab shim doing? It is being popped out because I aggressively flexed the plate. Yeah, we might actually install the things, by the way. You'll see what they are, but they prevent this. Alright, I'm gonna hand desolder the spacebar because fuck it. It's been a while since we've hand job pumped. Okay, we're good. Poor little Gadax. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So the only reason why I would go with this over a Gadax that I would lube myself is one, Gadax kind of does better with oil lube versus grease, and two, these were hand lubed by our Lord and Savior Krelbit right before he stopped taking lube commission orders. So it has a big sentimental value for me. Though I'm certain if I begged him to lube something, he'd be down. Okay. Simon, I'm attempting my first desolder job tonight, and I was wondering if you have tips on not how to fuck my whole shit up. I mean, you just saw me desolder; it was fine. What do you have for a pump? What pump are you using? Is it something decent, or is it like a kit pump? Okay, SS02 is fine. It's like not my favorite. I prefer one with a bigger suck chamber. For reference, just so you see the size comparison, by the way. This is an SS02. This is the big black. Like, yeah. But in terms of like tips, I have arguably one of the best soldering and desoldering videos on YouTube. Absolutely check it out. You can skip past the gear part and just go to like the technique where like I use the macro cam and I show you like nice and slow. This is how we do it. This is how we do it again. This is how we do it again. So you'll be all right. All right, where's... Did I put the other tadpoles back in? I may have. Let's see. No, I did not. Okay, so they're somewhere on my desk. So I should have a bag of tadpoles somewhere. All right, that's an empty bag, so soft tadpoles will go back in the bag. Rush your video like 5 times trying to mentally prepare. Don't want to fuck up the PCB. Bro, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Like, if I can do it, you can do it. Like, don't sweat it. Really don't sweat it. Like, take your time. Take it easy. It's fine. Like, chill. Chill. Preferably start with, like, your least used switches. Like your scroll lock and stuff like that. Because then if you fuck it up, fuck it. Whatever. Okay, are these the correct tadpoles? No, those are the black feet. Imagine putting black feet on a silver bottom. Hey, they're there. Listen, it's all about preference when it comes to desolder pumps. For me, the only reason why I don't like the SS02 is because it's too slippery for my sweaty hands. So it'll just like fly right out. Speaking of soldering, how is the soldering station? I have not heard of it. And I am expecting a D's Nuts joke, or I'm going to be very angry. Generally, though, what I recommend is literally like the cheapest Amazon like kit with like variable temperature control. Like blacksimon.tv/cheap iron, one word, is what I recommend. Did I rebuild the W1? No, we just changed the spacebar switch because it was unlubed. We replaced it with a Tangy. Oh, I'm getting toasty. Give me a second. the very least, you need a pine saw. You don't need shit, dude. As long as you have an iron with some temperature control, that's all that matters. The most important thing is you have good solder. Solder is what matters. The iron is just a thing that's going to heat up at a temperature. So you're chilling. Oh. But yeah, like, don't... Have you enjoyed typing on it? I haven't been typing on it because I was still on the Brutal 1800 at the office, and I wanted to, like, clean up the acoustics and, like, set up a usable layout that I can actually use prior to doing that. So we're prepping it. So tomorrow onwards, this is going to be my work, whatchamacallit, my work keyboard for a solid month. All right. Let's fix the spacebar stab real quick. How do you think the Cycle 7 or TKL, if you have the insider scoop, compares to the F1V2 material finishing wise? I mean, it's very different. To be fair, the Cycle 7, in terms of like finishing quality, is better than early Geon boards or on par with current Geon boards. In terms of machining, it's very simple machining. Like, they've done the machining in such a way to make it as cheap as possible to replicate. Geon is the opposite. There's a lot of complex machining, and basically that's what you're paying for. That, and, you know, actually made by like a reputable like CNC company of which you know the name, etc., etc., instead of, you know, children, slave children. Yeah, Geon machining and weights are something else, absolutely. All right, I'm not going to do this like pretty for the camera because it's really hard to align, so let me align it. There we go. I mean, they're really not comparable. That's the thing. It's apples and oranges. All right, we got it. Now, I was sent a thing by Rakan, a very special thing that prevents the stabs from being yoinked out if you've got very tight caps. Let me find it. There's so much shit on my desk. I just have like random keycap sets. Killing. Killing. Oh, I found it. I found it. There it is. This is a stab stopper. It's basically a modern toothpick mod. To be fair, we might actually desk clean like today. Alright, so just so you guys get an idea, we have ourselves a stabilizer right there, and that is the clip, and one of these just goes in there. So let's try and figure this out. Now, I saw a video that gave specific methodology, but I'm going to use my methodology. Get no fucking shot this is gonna fit in there. No shot this is gonna fit in there. Alright, let me try with spacebar first, because like that one is like the most in there. Alright, where's my nice tweezers? Where's my nice tweezers? I really need to fucking clean my desk, goddamn. Like, I can't find a single fucking thing. There's just so many fucking bags. I'm just gonna start offloading bags to the floor. Until I find the tweezers. Also, this beer is in a very dangerous spot. Nope, that's not the good tweezers. That's not the good tweezers. Oh, they were literally in front of me the whole time. Okay. Alright. Yeah, no shot this is getting in there. No shot. No shot. Dude, that's never gonna fit. This is never gonna fit. It's like so much bigger than the hole. Yeah, okay, well, fuck this. I'm not doing this. Absolutely fucking not. I'm gonna end up stabbing myself and dying. What were my thoughts on Type K? You can do exclamation recap. We covered it on Saturday. Oh, no. Trust me, you guys aren't seeing the angle. The hole is like this big, and the thing I'm trying to put into it is like this big. It's not even fucking close. The amount of pressure I would need to apply would break the PCB. Alright, well, fuck it. Just join what you doing. Stuff. Oh, that sounds so much better. That sounds so much better. Okay. Is the PCB 1.2? Is the PCB 1.2? Okay, now I gotta make sure the stabs didn't fucking fly out again. Yeah, we chilling. Okay. Yeah, fuck this. God gave us hands so we can insert JST cables into daughter boards. Okay? Look it up. It's in the Bible. Alright, already this is much better.
I fucking love knobs.
Oh. Alright, let's go. So after this, I'm gonna fiddle around with the layout to try and find something usable. Because, like, for example, 1800 is one of my favorite layouts because you can use the numpad as intended. So you hit numlock, you have your page up, page down, your home end, all of that, and that's great. The issue is, an 1800 also has arrows. And not having arrows has just fucked me. Because, like, the amount of times I need arrows and numbers at the same time is way too damn high. So I end up in a situation where, like, numlock down arrow, or, you know, numlock left, numlock 4, numlock left arrow again. It's super, super annoying. But what I might do is move arrows onto a layer on the numpad. So if I hold function, for example, even though there is no split right shift on this because Rakan is a psychopath. But theoretically, I could get, you know, layered arrows without needing to toggle numlock, which is going to help me a lot. HHKV arrows? No, I don't want to. Numrow doesn't work? I mean, it works, but, like, the second I have an actual numpad, my fingers instinctively try to write numbers on the numpad. Just use it like a TKL. Again, when I see a numpad, I use the numpad. I've been using an 1800 at the office, so, like, I'm super used to numpad. Super convenient. Don't look. True. True. Just cover my eyes. That's the big brain tactic. Okay, while we're at it, another reminder is I need some way to see, like, how many people are actually watching my stream, because it no longer shows up on my overlay stuff. So I gotta put it on my stream deck. All right, let's go. Big poggies. Put arrow keycaps on the numpad. I still want to use it as a numpad. All right, so let's go. And let me throw up my overhead. There we go. All right. So 7 picks viewer count on Stream Deck. Okay, so we did that. Both just redeemed a kiss. Are there any PBT sets that have shine through for caps, num, and scroll up? Why wouldn't there be? A lot of them do. This is just like a $25 keycap set, so it's not like amazing. All right, let me see. Okay, so I already said this to moment. I said this to layer 1, which is perfect. Do I keep cross arrows? I kind of want to keep cross arrows. All right, let's see if this is useful. Oh no, numlock was off. Okay. So I can do this, and I can do 6969. Back. I'm gonna have to get used to cross arrows, but it's very, very comfy. Oh, I accidentally put a 1. Okay, I need to unbind this. This needs to be nothing, because otherwise I'm gonna press them by accident. Yeah, I think that's the play. Should I put tab in the middle? All right, let me actually, let's fix the viewer count on Stream Deck. Let me actually like practically use it for something. Okay. Okay. Did that work? That work? Okay, it's really small, but I can see it says 131. Can I show it bigger? Can I make the number bigger? Oh, I have a thing for viewers. I'm literally like stupid. It's right there. Hello? Viewers. Yeah, there it is. Let's remove that. Move you here. And it no work. Stream elements has behind a toggle. Where? Set channel in. Thank you. Hey, I can actually see now. Fuck yeah. All right. Also, let me save this as. Save as 36 months of badge, and then 3.5 years. Fuck, it was 3 years. Whatever, I'll find it. Okay. So, is the layout usable? You know what I'd love in the middle? Backspace. Backspace is what I want in the middle. Because I can do this. Yeah, that's fucking handy. That is handy. Cross arrows, backspace in the middle? Yeah. I know there's a backspace over there, but like comfort-wise, that's pretty good. You could... No, I'm not going to use Vim arrows. I'm not going to use HHKB arrows. I'm going to use the fucking arrows that are here. Okay? Look. Arrows. Okay? Monsters. Check Discord DMs. Oh. Why? Why is it hidden? Why is it so hidden? It's so annoying. It's still not showing up. I enabled it, and it's not there. Okay. Okay, do we consider W1 layout usable? I mean, I'll fiddle around with it more at the office when I use it more. But hey. We need to measure the Auru. Alright, let's do that. Because I promised somebody that I would paste it here. Somebody asked. There we go. Alright. Let's do a little Auru measuring. Oh. Which Auru? I only have one Auru. Well, one Auru 65. Alright, so 332 looks like. So 332 millimeter length. That is 112 millimeter depth. Wait, is that 21? Yeah, that is 21. 21 millimeter front height. And 30 millimeter rear height. There we go. That us being all helpful. Helping people out in the community. Wait. Well, I would only know the built weight. $16.79. Wait, is it no phones? I may have lied to him. Fine. Okay, let's put this back in the cabinet. Oh. All right. What's still left on our to-do list? Measure Auru, done. Find out who the hell shipped me a keyboard. There you go. Look, we did all the things. We did all the things. It was me, the keyboard shipper. It shipped from China, okay? If you guys are gonna bamboozle, like I checked the tracking the second I got the tracking info. I was like, oh, what is it? Then I saw it was shipping out of China with FedEx, with no warning, and that's very much Vertex. Vertex is just like, oh, by the way, you should have a keyboard soon, and like I literally already have it in my hands, and I'm like, okay, thanks. I'm in China and I use FedEx. You're in Taiwan. Are you not? Is FedEx fast from China? No, it's not a TKL. It's only 2 kilos, and the proportions of the box is not big enough for a TKL. It has to be a 65 or a 60. God damn it, Ham. Matrix sending you their Alice. I welcome it. Matrix, send me keyboards to review. I will give them an honest review. If you make good keyboards, I will give them a good review. If you make trash keyboards, I will trash them. Must be the new Arc 60. They're not gonna mail me something for colors though. Like the only reviews that I've committed to that have not yet been shipped is the Angle 65. That's basically it. So like, I'm certain it's the Angle 65. I don't know what else it could be. It could be an early like international version of the Auru, but I doubt, because I don't think production is that fast. I don't know what else it could be. What boards do you still have on hand? I'll go get my build stack. So one, I have my Brutal 1800 that's at the office that I've typed on for a month and it's time to review. 2, I have the W1 on my desk that I need to type on for a month prior to reviewing. In addition, all right, I have these 3 things that need to be built and then reviewed. Oh, let's have a look. Oh. All right, so I have this, which is a Divine Auru TKL that belongs to not me. Don't worry about it. Now I'm gonna review this. This is a build that I'm gonna do. So this is probably gonna be last. I have a Leaf Spring. I literally haven't even looked at this board yet, so this is the first time I'm seeing it. This is a Leaf Spring FRL. This is the group buy that got cancelled that was running on Sankeys by the Bloody Eyes. He's a Middle Eastern designer. He sent me this for a private review, so I'm going to give him my thoughts on this, which are hopefully going to impact his future projects. And if I'm not mistaken, he's working on a larger board that I'm also getting like a proper review unit of. But this one is basically just private review. So you guys won't see this. You'll see me build it, and then I won't talk about it. I'll just give my notes in private. Oop. And finally, in addition to the Angle 65 that's coming, by the way, because once the Angle 65 arrives, I'll instantly build it to at least get a get-go on it, because I like releasing reviews prior to group buys going live. And finally, I have the big boy. The AKB OGR. Along with the ISOGR. Such a beautiful little thing. So yeah, this is my personal unit. I may or may not review it, but I will build it for sure. Isn't there an FRL conversion? I believe it's not a conversion. It's like a full-on like different product. It was private buy only, if I'm not mistaken. But somebody correct me. What plate did I get? Leaf spring carbon fiber. I also have 2 PCBs because James knows me too well. And some foam that's going to get thrown out, and that's it. In addition to this, there are 2 to 4, actually 5 other boards that I will be privately reviewing, and one that I'll be publicly reviewing that I can't disclose yet. So yeah, no, my backlog is huge, and keep in mind, guys, like I spend a month with a board before I review it. Why is James sending foam? Because it's part of the kit, so it shows consistency, and I appreciate consistency. You know, if foam comes in the kit and you send me foam, fine. I'm gonna throw it away anyway. All right. Actually, let's get our shit together. Let's get our shit together. Let's do a little organization. Okay, so build, review, pipeline. All right, so board, build date, review, date, question mark. All right, so I definitely have an angle 65. I have, oh, fuck this. It's so hard to get used to these arrows. For the Cycle 7, is there a plate that'll make it feel a bit like the Augur, like that bouncy? No, because the bounce isn't from the plate. The bounce is from the mount. All right, so we have Brutal 1800. We have W1. We have angle 65. We have AKB We have Auru TKL Divine. We have the 700. We have the am I stupid? Am I forgetting something? Fuck, I don't know when the fuck I built this. I'm gonna assume like July 23. W1 was done also July 23. Okay, in addition to this, I have Secret Long Boy, Secret Wood Boy, Secret Tree Material Boy. What else do I have? I have the Auru 65 production version, so I can compare it to the Chinese version. I'll have the Cycle 7 production version as well. Okay. So, GBD. So angle 65 review date is ASAP. So if I get it, like I'll move back other reviews if I have to. Brutal 1800. Probably the 19th. No, sorry, the 13th. 15th? 16th. Wait, when was my last actual video? Six days ago. All right, you know what? If I can do it before the 30th, sorry, 20th, that would be dope. And then the W1, I finished building it today. It goes to the office tomorrow, so it would be September 10th-ish. But if Angle 65 comes in earlier than that, then I'll spend like slightly less than a month with it and put out the review for that. Let's see. Not applicable. I don't know. Unclear. This one for sure is private. 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 TBD. 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 This I will not review. Do you typically daily drive a board for a month before fully reviewing it? Yes. The only exception I've ever made was the Cycle 7 because I wanted it out in time for group buy. Like, absolutely. It was such a killer deal. I'm like, I have to tell people about this. But generally, I take my time. And to be fair, there wasn't that much complexity going on with the Cycle 7. Like to see OGR? Okay, then. I mean, there would be bias because the OG stems from really? Ah, not budget cubes. Not plus size? That's not going to help me. If restricting a search is going to make it more restricted. Alright, sort by top. Yeah. So the original prototype for the OGR was paid for by the OG Summer competition that we ran on custom keyboards back in 2018. And then other people got other stuff. It was very cool. So he opted for that. And they opted for that. And I'm not sure what third place opted for. I don't remember if it was $100 or an ISO. But yeah. This was it. So this was literally developed for OG Summer. And now, that's near and dear to my heart, so I'll review it. But like, I'll put in a disclaimer that, hey, I have what I guess some sort of bias. Because technically I did like fund the original proto, I guess. Alright. Are there any boards that I've actually purchased? No. I don't buy keyboards anymore. I mean, I bought the Cycle 7 production version. And the Auru 65 production version. Or I will buy it. I guess that's it. But realistically, that's 11 boards. That's 11 months of work. But the secret boys I'll spend less time with. So. So 7. I got 7 months of backlog right now. Feels fucking bad, dude. Feels fucking bad. I'm gonna put this in like order that I'd actually want to do stuff. Yeah. That's more like it. There we go. Did I hear bias review? Don't even joke about that. Don't even joke about that. All right. Did we do our checklist? We did our checklist. We've done everything. We can just hang out. You guys want to hang out? Just fucking talk about keyboards. I don't want to look at keyboard pictures. I don't have the mental fucking capacity for it. It's been a long ass week, and it's only Friday. I wish it was fucking Friday. I'll go grab a whiskey and we'll hang out. How about that? Let's play OSRS? No! I mean, we could, but still. Rather just talk about keyboard. Alright, let me go get whiskey. Let me go get whiskey, boys. Oh. Dude, I can't wait for Thoktober. Thoktober is going to be so good this year. It's going to be so good. You have no fucking idea how good Thoktober is going to be this year. Assuming, like, I get the, the vendor response that I got last year, which is, like, pretty much everybody was on board. I know, like, Gion is an easy sell. I know Hex is an easy sell. Oblo, I might be able to convince him. I don't know. I can probably do something with Heine. I'll Daily Clap for sure. That he would hook us up, as he always does. Yeah. Alright, let me go get some whiskey. Everybody sit tight. Oh. Oh, alright, let's fucking go. Alright, let's fix my Q&A thingy. Alright. How different was 2 OG compared to production model? Wait, which one? What US vendors did you get for Thoktober last year? No, none of them. I reached out to Canon Keys, and Upas was just like, bro, I already give the lowest possible fucking prices that are humanly possible at that time. So, yeah. And then for novel keys, pretty much the same fucking thing. Same thing with Oblo. Oblo's just like, I don't fucking do discounts, dude. Like, I try to just give the best price I can at any given time. So, but I'll try. I'll see if we can do like any sort of collaborations or something like that. Vendors are already doing big sales this year, so I wouldn't be surprised if almost all of them would be willing to do something for October. Yes, but I want to do something special as well. I mean, I'll start like heavy work on October in September, which is not that far away. It's like 20 days away. And then we'll work from there. Like I'll start reaching out to vendors then. I've got like a whole fucking to-do list. But hey, I like doing it. Is that really a keycap said chat in the back? Question mark? When will the collection of giveaway items start for October? It's going to work differently this year. But I'm not going to tell you anything until September 1st. It's not going to work as like everybody's going to fucking just like send to like the top captains and then they'll you know pick people and send it to them. I want to make it a lot more personal. Where, you know, those of us that like are watching right now and in the community that, you know, want to help out somebody in particular, that want to, you know, make somebody's day, maybe introduce somebody to the hobby, we'll give them the tools to do that. Simon, I think Makerson has taken the cinematic title from you. I'm not fucking cinematic, dude. I'm not cinematic. I'll buy like nice fucking equipment, but like cursed ass stream. The OGR, I'm not sure what changes have been made, but I assume there's been changes. Did you watch Teha's most recent video? No. Song with vocals? Really? Oh, it is. I didn't select instrumentals. There you go. All right, let's see what Tehe types is doing. Teha types A before E, except after Tehe. It's an hour long. Oh, it's how did we let Mexico happen? I don't know. Do I want to watch this? Considering like Nathan's been out of the hobby for a long time. It's a good video. All right, I'll watch some of it. Also, Nathan, thank you for the free content. You're welcome to use my content anytime. All right? I got you, buddy. I got you, bro. All right?
Hello, I'm Teha, and welcome back to another video. In light of the recent events that have been happening...
It's a lot of stuff you know already since you've been keeping up with the drama. I mean, I'm done. We'll watch the intro, RMK lockdown, group buys. Okay. Yeah, this looks pretty good.
In our community.
When will Tehe interview me? He will not. He will not, for reasons. Okay? Not because, like... I mean, listen, my only, like, marketable skill in this hobby is, like, I love keyboards and I love the community. So, like, that doesn't fucking help anyone. You know? Like, I can run group buys, but, like, can I run the best group buys? No. I can like QC boards and like talk about design and sound and feel, but am I the best at it? No. So no, I'm not the one to interview.
Check out my monthly news videos if you haven't.
Dude, he looks younger. Nathan, why do you fucking look younger, dude? Dude, he looks 10 years younger.
I wanted to hopefully open up some healthy discussions regarding aspects of our hobby that we can change for the better so that we can prevent future Mexico situations. As keyword creators or influencers, whatever you want to call us, have become more prolific in our space, I think it's also important that we start to use our platforms in times like these. So today I'll be joined by R. Mendes, a community member as well as a moderator of the Mech Market Discord, to just chat about group buys and as well as how we ended up in the situation that we are in today. I mean, I know who you are, Armendis, but I'm sure a lot of my viewers probably, there's a good chance they don't know the legendary Armendis. So if you can just give an introduction to yourself, your involvement, and I guess time during the hobby.
I'm not super well known. It's by no means a legend.
Armendis is definitely a legendary name in the hobby, I would say.
So I started the hobby, let's see, late 2016. So not,
The good times.
not as long as some of the, hardcore veterans, but I think longer than most now, since most of the hobby growth, I think, were really in the last 3 years.
Mhm.
And I started, I was looking for a buckling spring keyboard
Based.
when I was doing a build, and I wanted to have this keyboard that I remember from the 80s, and I discovered, Desk Authority and Geek Hack, and that was the end of it for me. I fell down the rabbit hole. As you know, I fell hard into artisans, but I also have a, of course, affinity for keyboards, and I have way too many keyboards is probably just like I have way too many artisans. But yeah, so I've been around since then. I ended up becoming a mod for, since I'm in the artisan community, I'm a mod on several maker community discords. But I also became a mod, I guess, maybe a couple years ago on the Discord Discord Mech Market.
Okay. Oh, I had no
community,
idea you
which
were a
is-
Discord or mod there. So.
Yeah. So it's not affiliated with Reddit Mech Market. Unfortunately, people think it is because the name is the same, but it's not affiliated. And it's probably the biggest Discord marketplace. And so, yeah, I'm a moderator there and on some artisan keyboards. So I'm not
This is fucking
affiliated
wholesome
with
as
Reddit.
shit.
I'm
I love
not
it.
a moderator on Reddit. I don't work with any vendors. I don't have any financial interest in any vendors. So just a disclosure there. Hopefully at some point I'd love to do a key set, with a vendor at some point and do something maybe based on.
See, that's how you know he's based. He discloses his affiliations. Okay? It's the best type of person to fucking have in this hobby. Just disclose. Just disclose, bro. Just disclose. Link if you want to speed run this interview. I'll link if anyone wants to. Okay.
On the artisan website, but yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, you can just go to youtube.com/TehaTypes and click on the first video. It's not hard.
that's my background.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, and for anyone who watching, if you guys do ever end up meeting Armendis in person at a meetup, make sure you guys check out the trays of artisans he brings. There's usually
trays
at
of-
least like 3 or 4 trays just filled with artisans.
The
Or
trays
not
of
trays,
shame.
the
The trays of shame.
Trays of shame.
Unironically, you go to blacksimon.tv/shame. This is not updated, by the way. This is a list of like all the boards, key set. This is not even close to updated. Like all the random shit that I've bought. So this is like purchasing price plus shipping. So like $27,000. Yay. There's a lot more now. Shame spreadsheet update soon. Yeah. I mean, I'll update it when like I get my production Auru and Cycle in, because those are like the only boards I'm buying this year. Gotta pump those numbers up. Hey, listen, it's not about how much you spend in the hobby. It's about how much shame you feel about it. Okay. How much do you think it would be now? I mean, the Divine Auru TKL alone is $1,000. Is the glare in here? I feel like the glare isn't in here. The glare isn't in here. So it's missing a lot. No Glare 65, I couldn't afford it when it happened, unfortunately. I could afford a Cycle 7, so I bought a Cycle 7. And it makes me really fucking sad, but like, these are the times, dude. You know, sign of the times. You can't just buy all the cool shit you like anymore. You gotta be smarter with your purchases. And Glare 65 is by no means bad value. It was just out of my price bracket, you know. What can you fucking do? The hell is Cuckvan? Let me illuminate you. Sir and or madam, this is the Cuck Van. It is a specialty made, terribly painful, horrible keyboard of which there is only one unit, and it is mine. It's very special. This is a custom die sub on it that was custom made for this board, and it's got custom switches that were custom made for this keyboard. I have a review on it, by the way. It's a very special review that if you go to youtube.com/blacksimon, you go to videos, you scroll. This is a Cuck Van review.
I hate my life.
I'll show you the B-roll and the typing test.
Yeah. Here comes some amazing B-roll.
Keyboard. And of course the typing test. I'll give you the typing test. It's a classic. Why? Please. Why have you done this? And that's all you need to see. All right, back to business.
I saw your video on Mexico. It's a big talk in the hobby, and we knew this would, you know, when I say we knew, we knew that this was happening probably earlier than some of the public. And the reason is, and this is what's happened to Mexico is not new, unfortunately. So as I've anyone who's been around since the early days has seen vendors come and go and have seen good and bad happen. I've been involved in helping other moderators write PSAs about vendors that are going under. Or
I mean, here, I'll give you the easiest fucking PSA of how to identify like a good vendor. A good vendor cares, ships on time, has no problems. Done. If you have a vendor that qualifies under these 3 qualifications, then you have no concern for the future. Because even if there are financial problems or something like that, they will never sacrifice their delivery. They will always care. They'll always want to ship on time. And they will resolve problems. You forgot communication? That's just cares. That's it. Like, if you care, you're going to communicate. If you don't care, you're not going to. It's very obvious if somebody cares or not. I'd like, yeah. But yeah, that's a good vendor. Canon Keys, good vendor. Oblo, good vendor. Lots of other vendors, good vendors, because they care, they ship, they don't have problems. What about not having 50 group buys a second? You can have as many group buys as you fucking want, as long as you care and you ship it on time. That proves to me that you're capable of handling that load. That's it. That's it. Yeah, Hex is also good. Hex cares.
or individual hobbyists were struggling to fulfill group buys, whether it's keyboards or other things, and it happens, and so I saw your post on I know it's a short post, and I think it's great that you kind of are giving, through your platform that you have and great audience, let people know about it. But I think, as I mentioned when we were talking earlier, I think there's, there was the community used to be much smaller back then, right? And when people joined it, they would end up doing their own research and things, and it was.
Who's it on Tihi? This is Armendis. He's an OG like Mech Market moderator. I've never seen him in person until now. He's fucking wholesome as shit.
Less accessible perhaps than it is today, people discover it through Twitch and YouTube and Instagram and all these modern platforms. Where in the old days, like when I discovered it was through Geek Hack and Desk Authority.
You have to
Granted,
dig.
very boomerish. You had to
Yeah.
dig and you had to learn.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy to join a group buy or things like that, right? And as a result, you sort of implicitly knew the inherent risks involved in those things, right? And today, because there's so much accessibility and availability is great, but what people may not understand is that risk hasn't gone away.
Yep.
So
Right.
there's this veneer or facade of legitimacy, right? And it's not that the vendors are illegitimate, but the vendors carry as much risk as it used to be in the old days. And people just don't know that, right? They see a website, right? They think this is like, oh, it's like drop. It must be perfectly safe to go and give, buy 10 GBs from this vendor, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not the case with all the vendors. And we'll talk about it. But yeah, I think it's a good opportunity for people to.
Shopify. Imagine using Shopify, sir. I only use the fanciest and freest of web stores. WooCommerce. It's free. You can get some lovely Doc Simon mugs. Paul approved, by the way. You can pick yourself up some. You should model your socks. I don't have socks anymore. Everyone buy Thok mug. I get 2%. I don't even make 2%, bro. Where are you getting your fucking 2%? I want something with your voice that screams at me. No, I can tell that like it's sexual. With Thocky voice. Yeah, the ice bucket is because they had an ice bucket, so fuck it. By the way, this is my merch store where I have vetted every single fucking provider. As opposed to my previous merch where like it was the fucking Wild West of whatever they would deliver. No. I have picked the specific garments, I have picked the specific printers, and there's dedicated EU and US. Like I worked hard on the merch store and I got like 2 sales. By the way, I make like no money. Like I make a loss sometimes, but whatever. But like if you just want to like actually get something physical and like support the stream like minimally, consider picking up the merch. It's pricey, but it's good fucking merch. Like I picked nice shit. Like the hoodies are champion hoodies. The shirts are fucking top tier brands. The printing is done by good fucking companies. So yeah, consider that my sellout. Actually, no. One more piece of the sellout. Oh, did I get an answer? Ah, fuck. Are you using Portuguese menus? No. Most of the printers are in Germany, and I think I have one in the UK, and one in Poland. Apparently, that is like super good. Ah, all right. Oh yeah, I was selling out. Wait, let me finish selling out. Okay. There is a Patreon. Okay. Patreon's kind of very special. Okay. If you go to patreon.com/BlackSimon, the lowest tier of Patreon at $2.50 a month actually gets me more than a $5 Twitch sub. So if you care about actually supporting the channel, then that is the best way to support the channel. And you get access to patron chat. Wait, I have to turn on embeds. 1 second. Okay. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Yeah. Patron chat's kind of wild. And you get exclusive feed pics as well. And exclusive me petting beat pics. And for those of you that are watching and are not super familiar, by the way, you can do !profit. All the stream income is updated live on stream each month, transparently. All of the spend, all of the income. And essentially any of the money that comes in, I don't get to use it for like rent or food or clothing or booze or keyboards or key sets or lube or anything like that. It's specifically for having like a super bitchin' streaming setup. And when we have the excess money, things go into financing October, financing giveaways, helping people out, doing good shit for the community. So, yeah. Also, footnote, the channel has no sponsors, will never have sponsors. Anything you hear coming out of my mouth are my own thoughts and nobody else's. The stream is sponsored by you. All you guys. And only you guys. I don't take free review units. I don't fuck around with anybody. So, if you want to support the stream, know that it's going to a good cause. And if you don't have, excuse me, the financial means to, sub or donate or whatever the fuck, don't. Okay? Just tune in, watch my streams. That makes me happy. All right. Consider that my sellout from over an hour ago. It has been redeemed.
Use this as a learning, right? As a lesson, sort of a learning opportunity to not just the hobbyists, but vendors and, potentially future vendors who want to, get into the business in this hobby of, things to be.
I don't have money, but I can meme around and chill for you. Don't chill for me. Just hang out, join the Discord, hang out with everybody. You want to be helpful? One of the most helpful things you can do is answer questions in the help channel. That's it. Maybe make some memes, for enjoyment. Fuck it. That's it. That's all I care about. In the end, it's a not-for-profit stream. I don't see a fucking dime of like any donations or subs or patrons or anything like that. I don't get to keep it. Even if I stop streaming, I don't get to keep this equipment. I have to sell it and then like use the money for giveaways. So like I have zero financial incentive. So I prefer you watch and that's it. And like if you got cash and you want to support the channel, fucking go for it. And if you don't, fine. Just drop in, watch, hop in the Discord, hang out. I say it all the fucking time, and lots of people say it, and it's kind of lost its meaning. But the real hobby is the friends we make along the way. If it wasn't for the people in this community, I wouldn't be into keyboards. If it wasn't for all the friends that I've made, I wouldn't still be so devout. If it wasn't for how much I loved the hobby in the community, I wouldn't stream 3 days a week for free. Need macro cam for my mountain pen thirst trap reels? What? Here, I'll give you a nice macro cam. Okay? Give you a nice whiskey pouring macro cam. Give you a nice whiskey pour. Oh, that autofocus is tripping balls. There we go. Now zoom in on the toenails. I cut my toenails. All right, back to the video. That's enough selling out. Listen, I appreciate you guys so much because, again, remember, I literally stream for free. Oh, 1 second. Where's my overview? Like, how many hours have I fucking streamed? Started in full time in like March 2020. I've streamed 1,300 hours. And all this money went into improving the stream. So, like, I do it because I love it. So, fuck it. All right, let's go. Mendes, hit me with that wholesomeness.
Be aware of, practices, things like that, right?
Mm-hmm. So I know the moderators kind of had a post recently on, they kind of locked down what kind of posts are allowed to be posted. And
on that was on RMK, right? Not,
yes.
Yeah.
And I have heard through the grapevines they're maybe trying to help put some sort of system in place that might, some kind of way to vet vendors. I don't know if you had any thing more you could share on that you could.
Yeah, so we'll talk about it. So first of all, I think their reaction to kind of pause group buy promotion is not based purely on the fact that they're trying to figure out
Also, fun fact, if you go on custom keyboards, r/custom keyboards, there's no ICs or group buys allowed in there at all. No promotion. Fuck you. I mean, this one was like an open source design, so like that's fine. But like, you just got nice keyboards, fucking nice pictures, good enjoyment. Good moderation. Oh, oh. Why didn't you like the Cloudline, but I like the 40%? Because look at the shining on those keys. Okay. More effort was put into this build than this build. This is a better photo than this photo. I'm upvoting this because this is more of what I want to see, not this. That's why. But yeah. So like, where is it? No direct ICs, no promotional advertising. Like, this is a nice, clean fucking place to post nice keyboard pictures and like, just like, see what people are actually putting together. And I love it. It's fucking great. I love it because it's my subreddit, but still.
About what the fallout is from the Mexico situation, because if you've been following it, unfortunately, it wasn't a small vendor in terms of the number of GBs they were running. They had multiple concurrent keyboard GBs, multiple concurrent key set GBs from multiple vendors, and it's a bit of a mess, right? And so there's actually like, it's almost like this, like a bank run, right? Like if you have one bank fail, right, all of a sudden people may lose faith in others, and you could have this sort of like cascading effects of chargebacks that could really create a domino effect.
Kind of a double-edged sword, stifling smaller content, creator promotion, limiting. There's a place for that. It's Geek Hack. You post an IC thread. You're going to get more visibility than posting on my fucking dumbass subreddit. Custom keyboards is for nice keyboard pictures. That's it. You know, everything for its intended purpose. You know, you could hammer in a nail with an M60 machine gun, sure, but you know, hammers exist.
That's negative for the community. So they wanted to just pause things to figure out what's going on with with Mexico, and to their credit and the credit of other vendors, they're trying to figure out if things can be salvaged.
Right.
So they're trying to coordinate with other vendors to see if they can pick up some of the unfulfilled GBs from Mexico. And
I love that he just says GBs every time instead of group buys. It's super cute. It's super cute. I love it. I would hug this man in real life. Armendez, if you come to a Dubai meetup, I'll give you all the hugs, bro. Give you all the hugs. You should come to a Dubai meetup. It's super comfy.
And so that takes time. And so what they're trying to do, first of all, I don't think it's a great time to be promoting GBs right now anyway. Right? So, and if somebody really wants to, they still can. They can go to GeekHack or whatever and still do it. I think these guys, you know, on RMK decided, hey, let's just pause for a moment and see if we can figure out, like, let's see if we can limit the damage, right? The collateral damage of this. So I know it seems, you know, on the surface like, oh, these guys are power tripping and stuff like that. But I'm not a mod there, but I know some of them, and I can say it's not the case that they're trying to you know, power trip or anything like that. And they haven't paused it to try and set standards or anything. I think they've paused it simply to see if they can mitigate some of the fallout from this, right? Because it's unknown. Like, a lot of it is unknown. Like, you don't know what's really going to happen. For example, is there a proxy, right, that was working on some of those key sets that's also going to fail, right? And so, you know.
I mean, my concern is from a pure business perspective. Considering the customer base used to be this big, and now the customer base is this big. Everybody that, you know, went in, spent money on, you know, additional warehousing space, additional staff, you know, means of production, CNC machines, die subbing machines, all that shit, injection molding machines, factored it at this rate here, not this rate. So like, we could end up in the possibility where a lot of legit, very good vendors are going to have to pull out, like P3D, like Hex recently. I mean, he's not pulling out, but that's what scares me. That's what scares me. Because everybody, from like in the simplest term, in the simplest terms, companies over leveraged themselves in 2020 and now are feeling that pain. Good vendors will still fucking make it through it because good vendors are, cognizant of the fact that, hey, I'm going to unload inventory at a slight loss. It's going to give me an edge over any potential competition. I'm going to at least be able to liquidate and have a little bit of funds left over to actually fund the next projects and all of that. So, yeah. Morning, how's it going? It's going. It's going. My industry is a year ahead of this COVID bubble pop we're seeing now, and I'm surprised it's been this tame so far. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, things you don't see is, at least from the US level, I mean, you guys, I I hope, read like the basicest of financial news. Credit card debt hit 1 trillion. Household debt is at an all-time high. Savings is about to dip into the negative, which hasn't happened, excluding the 2020 like COVID crash, hasn't happened since like 2009ish. So like, it's not a good fucking like environment. But in this environment, the strong companies, the strong vendors will prevail, the strong makers that understand that, hey, I could make a lot of money, or I can fucking cement myself and assure the future of my business for the next 10, 15, 20 years, But that requires, one, caring, two, actually delivering, and, three, I forget what number three was. What the fuck was number three? Not having problems. And by not having problems, I mean like solving your problems. Because like you can have issues, just solve your issues. Issue comes up, communicate. All right, this is fucked up. Here's our plan to solve it. It's going to take a year to solve it, but here is the plan. And we're going to stick to the plan. We're going to hit our fucking deadlines. And I'm okay with that. I would prefer that over fucking getting ghosted. So.
I think they're doing the diligent thing by pausing. I don't think it hurts anyone by pausing promotion of GBs, right? Vendors, again, can still run it if they want. They have their own discords.
For the record, this absolutely hurts group buy runners because, as you said in chat, like smaller group buy runners aren't going to get the exposure that, they would have gotten otherwise. And yeah, I get that. But, sometimes we need major preventative measures to at least, protect customers as a whole prior to looking at protecting vendors, because any good enough vendor is going to be able to cover his own ass. If you can business through a slump, and that's fine. But if you're terrible at business, a slump will kill you. And at that point, I know it sounds incredibly rude and like really short-sighted and toxic, but like if your company cannot survive a dip, you should not be in business. Fucking go get a job.
And other channels of marketing. And I think it also speaks to another thing, Teja, where like there's this entitlement of vendors who are now making a lot of money to a free marketing channel as if they're entitled to it, right? Yeah. And we have to step back and understand, like, if you're a business, right, the way things work in the real world is you have to pay for a marketing channel. Vendors are very fortunate that they have a model where, and we'll talk about this in a moment, not only do they get free money, interest-free money from the community, but they get free marketing. There's virtually no investment capital they have to put up, right? And so it's interesting to see, like, as soon as, for a well-intentioned pause of this thing, like people are up in arms around, oh, you're not allowing us to promote our stuff. It's like, you're not entitled to that channel, right? Like, if you want to go buy a sponsored post on Reddit, go ahead and buy it through Reddit, but you're not entitled to free marketing, right?
Right.
So I think it also.
I bought sponsored posts for the ISO group buy. It didn't hit MOQ, but you know what? I funded that shit. I made sure it fucking hit MOQ, and I delivered 2 years late.
Also kind of exposes a little bit of this kind of entitlement that some vendors have. And I know some vendors are going to get upset perhaps for me to saying it, but
I even sent Tihi Types a review unit, and he had like 10,000 viewers on that stream, and he made a video with like 60,000 views, and I got one sale from him.
But that is the reality. Like, if you want to advertise, right, a group buy, go buy this advertisement on Reddit.
Makes me want to run a group buy. I lost $7,000 running this. I lost $7,000 running this. Okay, how? I have a particular set of skills. Okay, yeah, COVID did happen, and that's what killed it. Like everything was ready to ship, but it was sitting with a vendor that didn't ship it for 2 years. In the end, I requisitioned all the units and shipped them myself. So, fuck it.
Right? You're not entitled to free marketing. We'll talk about in a moment, kind of like the other thing you mentioned, if trying to create some standards or things like that. But before we do that, I thought if I can share my screen, I'd like to.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow, this
So
is a professional.
Yeah, let's.
Okay.
Well, I think this helps me talk through it at least, right? So
Yeah,
so let's
Nathan.
take. I think this is going to be beneficial. And I apologize for the viewers on
Look, guys,
your
part of
side
the
who are
call.
veterans and know this stuff
Love you,
already.
Nathan.
And I may not be explaining it perfectly. Look, this is for the probably 90% of the community now, right? That is relatively new and have not, are not deeply steeped in it. They're more casual, right? They want a nice keyboard for their home, whatever, right? So group buys, right? The concept of what a group buy is, and I want to caveat that all of the discussion that we're having now is specific to the group buy model, right? Some vendors, purchase inventory and sell it on their website or pre-purchase or whatever. We're not talking about that stuff. We're talking about a specific business model, which is a group buy, right?
If I may ask really quickly.
Yep.
Do you consider the pre-order nuance different in this case, or are you still lumping that?
I mean, it really depends on if it's an actual pre-order or not. Pre-order means the units are made. If they're not made, then it's a group buy. Done.
Pre-order nuance under group buys for this discussion?
It's a good question. I think pre-order.
For example, buying from Gion, unless it specifically says group buy, is a pre-order. Like he makes the units ready to go. He won't ship them for like weeks, but still, they exist. So the capital investment has been done by him. Let me turn off my overlay because yay.
Is sort of like, I guess what you would consider buying a product at a later stage of a group buy, right? Before it's fulfilled, but much later than when you're doing the initial purchase, right?
Yeah.
So let's park that for a moment. I would say it's sort of a subset of a group buy, right?
Okay.
But it's a good question. It's a good question, right? So and there's actually an interesting, the pre-order concept is relatively new in the hobby, and it's I think an offshoot of something potentially negative, right? There's pros and cons to it. We'll talk about it in a little bit, okay? So let's take a trip back in time to what was a group buy initially intended for, right? So if you go back to like 2016 or earlier, right?
Do we skip this?
There were very
Do we skip this? I mean, okay, some of you may not know, so let's not skip it.
few manufacturers catering to the mechanical keyboard hobby, right? And very few vendors. So if you wanted to build a custom keyboard or get a key set made with custom colors, your options were super limited, right? You would have to basically, you had a few manufacturers like GM Key, Signature Plastics, etc. They were primarily doing business for commercial clients, building esoteric key sets, generic key sets, right? If you wanted to build a custom key set, you as an individual hobbyist would come up with a design, right? And I think one of the earlier ones was Dolce or something like that, but you come up with a color design. Then you would go to your fellow hobbyists, and back then we're talking like less than $250,000, right? As you went back earlier, it was a huge drop, like less than 100K, less than 10K people, right? Yeah. So you'd go to your fellow hobbyists. They all generally mostly knew who you were because it was a small community, and you had only a couple of platforms to do this in, right? Maybe Reddit, Geekhack, and Desk Authority primarily, right? And you'd run an interest check, and you'd say, "Hey, I'd really like to do this key set. Who wants to join me?" Right? And if you got enough interest and you tweak the feedback enough, eventually people will say, "Yeah, I'll be willing to join you in this buy," right? And they basically you'd open up a Google form, and you'd literally collect their money that way, right? and
honestly, Google form never lost. Like I plan on using Google Forms for my next group buy. It fucking works. Fuck it.
And they all understood, well, shit, I may never see this $200 again or whatever, right? And that hobbyist would then go to GMK and he'd place an order, and he said, look, I've collected enough money, I can buy this product and pay you to do it. And you get into a queue. And generally speaking, at that time, these were not long queues, right? So it was usually within the refund window of a credit card, sometimes even
Yeah, it'd be 4 to 6 months. Like even GMK windows were 4 to 6 months back in like 2016-ish.
within the refund window of PayPal, right?
Well, if assuming you were using standard GMK colors, right? If you're
Assuming you're using
custom-
standard, right?
Yeah,
But
okay.
I'm talking generally like keyboards, key sets. Like yes, some things would take longer than a year, but there were some things that did take less than a year, or
Right.
you know, in some cases they would like recollect the funds or something, right? So to keep you
Right.
within that, right? Because it was
Mhm.
there was more shared risk, right?
Right.
Or at least more known risk, right? So this was by and large, and yes, there's some slight variances, but generally speaking, this was the intent of what a group buy was, right? The intent of a group buy was there's no commercial vendors serving the hobby. As individual hobbyists, we have to pool our money together, run a group buy, fulfill it, and then send it out, right? And by the way, I think it's interesting for people to know in the early days, like
Bro, when I started streaming before the explosion, and like I started doing group buy reviews, and it was chill, you know. There would be like, 6 ICs and like 4 group buys to like note for the week. And that was it. Now there's fucking hundreds, bro. Now like we need a recap team to like actually like filter the links and make sure it's the links that like are the most topical. It's wild. Recollecting funds sounds interesting. What would that look like? You'd basically, I mean, there are a few options, but like it's to allow the PayPal refund window to still exist. So like you could refund and reprocess payments, and there were like some other ways of doing it. But basically, it reset your refund window is the way that it worked. This happened as soon as 2018, 2019 with my 280S group buy unit, which took 4 years to ship, by the way, where it was an option where Noxery was still running it through like Google Forms and PayPal. And he was just like, hey, I will re-invoice you.
GMK keycaps, they didn't come in these sorted key sets, right? Or cases.
Right.
They would have to be literally sorted by the hobbyists.
Right. I
Right?
mean, some of them still haven't shipped, so
Yeah, exactly. They're still
Yeah.
sorting. They're
right.
still
Yes.
sorting.
Yeah.
For the record, PayPal changed like their entire terms of service to prevent group buys from existing. And payment providers, the majority of payment providers, if you don't have the product in hand and you're collecting funds, you not legally, but like under their terms of service, you cannot do it. That includes Stripe, Spotify, Shopify, pardon, and like whoever else you're going to be fucking using. So like the systems were set up in place to prevent shit like this from happening, where something ends up taking 2 years, but unfortunately there are ways around it.
So it wasn't a great situation, but that was the intent of a group buy. Okay, that was the intent of a group buy. Now, fast forward to like 2020 and beyond, and you saw massive growth in the hobby, right? You saw massive growth in the hobby, and commercial businesses sprung up. Granted, generally created by hobbyists, okay, but commercial businesses nonetheless, LLC, S corps, whatever, that sprung up and said, hey, this is a pretty good model. We can actually turn this into a real business and generate some real money, right? We're not creating key sets just for us to enjoy, but we're going to create a business for a for-profit motive. And guess what? We're going to get free marketing. Okay, we're not going to spend $1 in marketing. We're going to get free marketing, and the market now is big, right? There's like over 1 million subs on RMK, right? Interesting points of fact. At one point, it had more subs than our Lego. Think about that.
RMK did?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, that I did not know.
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
I remember RMK sub 120k. I remember. Those were the glory days were like sub 200k, like 180, 190k. That was the good times.
It's consistently, like, it was one of the fastest growing subs on Reddit. It was one of the most active subs on Reddit. Like, so our hobby, thanks to folks like you and others who've done a great job promoting it, has grown. And this is a great thing. And, unlike in the old days where
we don't talk about Ripster,
you had to your choices were like limited to certain key sets and you had to wait for like 3 months between them and all those things. Availability and accessibility is amazing now, right? And so these commercial businesses sprung up, and they're like, hey, let's get free marketing and market these things. And we're going to put up websites, right? And collect this like it's like we're a real business, right? And to hobbyists coming into the hobby,
To be fair, for all intents and purposes, any actual business that is collecting payments on a storefront is a real business. It's not like a real business. It can be a shittily run business that, you know, gets run into the ground due to poor business decisions, but it is a real business. Okay. Like I have Black Simon TV. I have, you know, Illuminati keyboards. I could, you know, open up orders on Illuminati keyboard or Illuminati.works and collect money. And, you know, it's not like a business, it's an actual business. I'm following all the laws and whatnot. If I fail to deliver on the product, then I have failed as a business.
who didn't live in this old school boomer era of a group buy, this essentially looked like a normal business that just happened to take a longer time to deliver. Now, in some cases, much longer than a year. And so you had people coming in who, many of whom didn't really understand the underlying model of the group buy, where essentially all of the risk is on them, right? Even though they're transacting with what appears to be a legitimate business that will fulfill.
Okay, I get the point he's going for. Yeah, I was just being pedantic.
Right? And because this is no longer an individual hobbyist just trying to like get his friends, buddies together to get a key set, these guys are for profit. They started running these in parallel, collecting more and more and more money. Now, if the intent and the way that these guys run the business is good, no problem with this model. Okay. Yeah, you can overextend yourself sometimes, but generally speaking, you're going to be careful with the money. When you collect group buy funds in advance, you're going to set some aside that you know you got to leave for the shipping. You're going to make sure you've got some buffer, et cetera, et cetera. But
Kickstarter and Indiegogo have made crowdfunding a thing people have heard of, absolutely. But the point that Armendis is trying to make is that a lot of these look like a normal site in which, like, imagine you know nothing about keyboards and, like, you know, your only experience is buying a Corsair from Amazon, right? You see a website, looks like a legit business that, you know, just has a long delivery time because you don't fucking know. You don't know what a group buy is, right? That's the point he's trying to make. And it's a good fucking point, considering like the caliber of people that were joining the hobby.
this model of generating profit with virtually no investment tempted many people to open up a vendor. And some of those people did not follow good practices.
Right.
Okay. Mex & Co., the one in particular we're talking about, at one point had something like 30, 40 simultaneous unfulfilled GBs, and they hadn't delivered on one yet.
30, 40. Okay.
Don't quote me on the exact. They've definitely had 30, 40 open at one time.
That's
I think
crazy.
I can't remember how many they've had open prior to when they, you know, started fulfilling. Now, again, it's not to say that they intended to scam people. Okay. Their intent was good. They came from the hobby. People knew them, and we'll talk about that as another problem, by the way. But over time, they, you know, mismanage funds, and part of the way you can mismanage it is when you collect. So here's another thing that.
All right, give me 1 second, boys. I'll leave the video playing for a second. I need to give Kate my phone so we can actually order dinner because it's late.
Happened during the boom time. Okay, there's this concept again that casual people may not know. When you place an order with a manufacturer for a key set, for example, there's something called a minimum order quantity, right? You can't buy, like, let's say only 50 people want a key set. You can't place an order for 50. There's a minimum of, say, I don't know, let's pick a number, 250 that you have to order.
Right.
Okay. And the point of a group buy and an interest check is to make sure that you have enough demand to hit at least the minimum. Okay. Now, what was happening in the boom time with, let's say, less scrupulous or careful vendors is they would run a group buy and there wouldn't be enough demand to hit the minimum order quantity. Maybe they would only sell 100, right? Or have commitment for 100 and they need to get to 250. They were taking the profits from that 100, and in some cases their own money, and putting it into the group buy to hit the minimum order quantity, assuming that when the product was finally available, they would be able to sell out and make
Right.
even more profit on those extras through what you mentioned, pre-orders. So this concept of a pre-order was created where the vendors would bridge the gap to hit the minimum order quantity, either with the profits from the people who paid initially or their own money or a combination of the two, then start essentially extending the group buy into a pre-order phase and hoping that they would sell out then. If not, they would sell out by the time they get the product in store and be able to sell it because people were willing to buy when it was in stock. The problem is demand did not grow forever. And so in this downturn, businesses or vendors that were over leveraged, right, with too much stock and not enough cash, were unable to complete the fulfillment of these group buys. And some vendors like Mex & Co that had multiple concurrent group buys were so over leveraged and mismanaged the funds so badly that they simply collapsed. And
How do we feel about pre-orders to bridge that capital investment gap for non-group buy and stock items? I mean, remember that a true pre-order means you've already invested the capital. Otherwise, it is a group buy. So if you're talking about using a group buy to, to essentially fund a pre-order, for example, it's a terrible business practice. You can do it, but you gotta prepare good cash flows. You gotta simulate worst case scenarios, and if you don't simulate worst case scenarios, then you end up in a situation in which you're now fucked because the group buy money you collected for your pre-order, which has now been paid for and is in production, and now you got a big fucking hole, and you literally can't pay to ship out group buy units, for example.
they're not going to be the last one to collapse, right? And they weren't the first one to collapse. It's not to say that there's many other Mex & Cos out there, but it's worth looking at, if people knew, okay, if people knew that what
We're still feeling that it's okay for us as consumers, customers, by the way. Okay. I don't like the term consumers. The people that watch my stream are not consumers. We are customers. Okay. Customers are far more educated. If we're talking about consumers, then consumers don't give a fuck. They will absolutely be taken advantage of. But as customers, have we become more enlightened and way more careful with where we put our money? Yeah, absolutely.
what they were doing was not sustainable, how come it wasn't caught? And I consider this a failure of.
And yes, I mean, we don't have all the facts, but the initial facts show us that Mex & Co was misappropriating company funds, which absolutely not the play. Like using group buy money for speculation, not a good idea.
Some of it's a shared responsibility we have.
All right, I'm gonna skip to should group buy still exist. Okay, if you guys want to watch this video, you're gonna have to watch from this bit. People knew Mex & Co was coming, all the way to how can we prevent the. Okay, actually, from this bit. That's it.
And so we have created this situation. Okay.
I apologize. I've been streaming for a while, and like I stream like as soon as I come home from work, and I'm fucking tired of shit, guys. So I'm doing my best. I rarely push like a 2-hour stream, but hey, fuck it. This is interesting.
Where anyone can come and become a vendor and run multiple parallel group buys with virtually zero capital investment, throw up a Shopify site or whatever, go
Shopify costs money.
and collect hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, to be fair, like the amount at stake, like I'm planning my group buy, and like the total amount on the table at 200 units is $150,000. Like there's no, like, if you're looking at numbers like that, you can't be fucking around. You absolutely cannot be fucking around. Like it's huge. Like would I trust like some kid that knows fucking nothing about group buy or productions? Why the heck is it so much money? Because this assumed MOQ of 200 per unit cost here, breakage calculation, adjusted for breakage, fixed costs, variable cost per unit, and then you have this. But yeah, like it's a big fucking amount, dude. You know, like I wouldn't trust somebody that doesn't know shit about running group buys or business with $150,000. They're gonna fucking go spend it on NFTs or some dumb shit. 200 MOQ in this economy? I mean, I can drop it. I can drop it to 100. Okay, that should have live updated everything. Are you not live updating? Okay, where are you pulling that from? Ah, wait. No, that's per unit. Okay, and then how are you calculating the per unit? Ah, I've times 200 hard coded because I basically planned for 200. That's an easy enough fix. You replace 200 with that. There. Now it's a live calculation. So at 100, it'd be $75,000. So yeah. And I mean, like, I'll simulate it at 500, but I'm not gonna do 500 anyway. That's more than $250,000. Like, there's no fucking around. Like, when you're dealing with numbers like this, when you're running an actual group buy, you can't be fucking around. 100 to 200 still base cost? No, it won't be. That's why this entire thing is based at 200, and I will do 200 anyways. Like, as usual, if I don't hit MOQ, I'll fucking buy MOQ, or I'll have Gion like help buy MOQ. Fuck it, like they'll sell. There's no reason. Anyway, let's go.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars and fail. And all of the alarms and accountability is gone because of this.
Where can I find info about this project? You can't. That's the best part. I don't go fully live with a project until I'm 100% comfortable with it. I've learned my lesson. So it's a very inspired thing in which I want to make a G80 5000 modern aluminum version, and I want to fully open source the project the day of group buy start. Fully open source. That means anybody can make it. People can compete with me if they wanted to, and I want to do like 4 or 5 subsequent group buys, also fully open sourced, all G80 inspired. So yeah. Anyway, you'll get information when it's time to have information. Don't get too excited right now. You know, I have no budget for designers, like case designers and PCB designers. Everybody's working on this pro bono, including me. Like, there is no margin on this entire group buy, nor will there ever be. And it'll be fully open sourced as well. So, like, it'll fucking take time. It is what it is. But it's what I want. You know, I want fully open sourced, and I want nobody to have any financial motivations.
So, what do we do about this?
That's
Right.
the big question.
Right? Nobody's getting paid to solve this problem.
Pay me. I'll solve the fucking problem. Just pay me, dude. I'm not biased. I mean, fucking nobody's pocket. Pay me. Pay me. I'll fucking solve the problem. It's not hard. I'll be the keyboard auditor. Like, I understand group buys. I understand business finance. I understand cash flow. I understand all this shit. It's fine. I do this for a living.
But to those of us who feel like, hey, we have a decent community here. Of course, as it grows, there's toxic people and scams and stuff. But generally, it's a good community, right? Like, for the size of this community, it's pretty decent. It's a pretty decent community. We have good people in it. How?
Absolutely, blockchain. See, what we need to do is we need to do an STO. We need to do a security token offering, in which essentially your security token is representative of the actual keyboard, right? That's the fucking play. And to be fair, I know that sounds really stupid to you guys, but a security token offering, at least for US law, as under SEC Regulation D and Regulation S is actually like very, very well regulated, because you would still be under the laws of doing a private placement, which means, you know, if you defraud investors, you end up in fucking jail. So, like, unironically, what I just suggested sounded really stupid, but it's actually very smart.
How do we preserve that? And it's great, like as a capitalist myself, it's great that there's opportunity for artisans and vendors and designers and everybody to make money. Great. Okay. How do we do it in a way that's sustainable? How can we minimize another Mexico? We're in a downturn right now. At some point, we'll get out of the downturn, and at some point, there will be another run up to 2 million members in the hobby.
Don't private placements in the US limit investees to particular accredited investors? Absolutely. There are two types. So you got Reg S and you got Reg D. Reg S allows you to sell to international investors only. Reg D allows you to sell to US accredited only investors. There's something in between, which I believe is called Reg A. Reg A allows you to sell to a small portion of US non-accredited investors. All of this needs to be filed with the SEC, by the way, via Form D or a Form A. But yes, you're absolutely on the right track. But like, there is oversight, so you can't fucking scam people and get away with it without going to jail, which is pretty cool. Like, unironically, I would be open to like doing an SGO for like Illuminati keyboards and let the community actually own the fucking company, not just, you know, in principle, but in terms of like voting rights and everything. But the world is not ready for it, unfortunately. And I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, crypto's gonna fucking change the future. No, fuck all that. I'm talking about what's actually recognized by the law. So, yeah.
Okay. Now, when that happens, if we have the same situation, okay, when the subsequent downturn comes, which it will, there's a lot more money and people that will be exposed if we don't make some changes. So the question is now not to look back, not to cast blame, not to scream at Mex and Co., scream at the mods that have paused the group buys and all these things, but as a community try and figure out what can we do about this, right? And there's no easy answer. It's evolved to this because, you know, this is how the organism has organically grown, right? There's no easy answer. So one of the things you alluded to earlier is some of the moderators across different platforms have reached out to vendors to say, hey, let's try and create some guidelines. Okay, let's try and create some voluntary guidelines, at least to solve this last bullet, which is if I'm a new vendor and I come in, hey, what should I be doing? What are the best practices, right? How do I make sure I don't run too many simultaneous GBs, that I don't, you know, I'm
Don't do it. Simon, was there a similar situation in Mexico in the past? I mean, publicly, unclear. Privately, for sure, because there have been like multiple like major people in the hobby that have just run away with funds. Look at the what was his name? The guy that ran the essay sets. Not Ivan. The other one had like 6 runs. Had Space Cadet. Whatever. You'll put the name in chat. But he was using prior runs to pay for. Sorry, he was using current runs to pay for prior runs, and basically he dicked himself. No, not Sprit. Sprit was the springs vendor that wasn't shipping springs. I'm talking about the Dust Authority guy that was running Signature Plastics SA. But yeah, like, it's happened before in the past, but we have no evidence of it actually happening because back then it was a person doing it. Now there are companies involved, and with the company you have a little bit, tiniest bit more, you know, accountability.
I'm not unaware of the risks in GBs that elongate the process where I may need more financial buffer. What's my how do I have to communicate to the hobbyists? Like, we have vendors that can't even do the basics of run and update, right? They can't even give an update in Groupbot, right? Which further exacerbates the problem and creates more risk and all sorts of things, right? And so if we can start at least with some guidelines that vendors should follow, okay, and for the vendors that follow it, and are good, behave well towards the community and follow these things, there should be incentive, right? And the incentive might be continued access to free marketing or some sort of designation that these are vendors that are voluntarily following a good standard, right? And for those who don't, we're not gatekeepers, right? You can do what you want. It's a free world, but you're not entitled to free marketing on the platforms. So you may not get it.
Yeah. I wonder, because we have things like mechgroupize.com, like Mech Calendar that track, live products. But if someone had just like kept a visual timeline of like, this is the vendor,
Good point.
these products are outstanding.
Yeah.
Like we could have caught this way on earlier.
So it's a good point, right? So one of the bullets I mentioned was lack of centralized visibility, right? So there are these sites that show, I'll call them aggregator sites, right? That show like what are all the group buys running. Some of them focus on keyboards, some of them key sets, and some do both. Absolutely, they're.
Oh, I'm not ripping you a new one. You're chilling, dude. It's mostly Mendes talking. Dude, he seems super chill, by the way. Do you know where Mendes... Where is Mendes, like, geographically? Was he, like, East Coast or West Coast? West Coast. He's super fucking chill, dude. Yeah, no shit. East Coast. Okay, that explains it. Yeah.
One of the...
Yeah, he's a fucking sweetheart, dude. He's a sweetheart.
Potential outcomes or suggestions from this, in addition to a set of guidelines, might be, hey, we're going to have a centralized site where we track we have like the track record of GBs and vendors, right? So if there's a new...
When Black Simon interview Oh, you're asking him when he's going to interview? Nathan, don't interview me. I have nothing to like... What am I going to fucking share? I'm just going to be like, I like keyboards and I like keyboard people and keyboards make me happy. That's basically all I have. Loved meeting him. Highlight of Nashville last year. Fuck yeah. Dude, Mendes, please. Please. Come to a Dubai meetup. Please. Okay? I'm pretty sure between me and like the Dubai like vendors, we can like help like subsidize your stay. Come fucking hang out.
If there's, I'd like to join this group buy from this vendor. I can go back and see, hey, what other group buys has this vendor run? How long did they take? Were there any problems? Right? What other simultaneous group buys are they running, and all of those things, right? That certainly could be one of the, infrastructure, things that we come together as a community to do. And another one could be like if you consider Mexico, right? If you're a brand new vendor, right? Because we also have to be careful as we build these guidelines, not to create like antitrust issues, if you want, or create hurdles to. We don't want to like protect large vendors at the expense of small.
Nathan, like, do you know what line of work Mendes is in? Because like he seems like he's like high level like corporate, like in terms of his understanding of like how businesses should work and all of that. And I appreciate that because like that resonates with me. But like, goddamn, dude is check his LinkedIn. What? Search LinkedIn for R Mendes. No, but like he's on point. He understands a lot of shit. He's an entrepreneur. Okay, that explains it. Yeah, because for like an actual entrepreneur, not a bullshit entrepreneur, you have to understand business relationships, accounting, like legals, all that shit. Okay, yeah, like it's very fucking clear. He knows his shit. Chief Market. Please stop doxing me.
Ones, right?
Right.
While also making sure that we don't allow small ones to become a Mexico situation, right? So for example, if you're a brand new vendor, you may have free access to do your marketing, but you may be limited in the number of simultaneous GBs you can market until you have a track record.
I mean, Geekhack tried to do that, but like realistically, like vendors that seemed to be okay still like went over the legal limit, and it was fine. I know Noxery was given like carte blanche, and Noxery like is like 4 years behind on fucking fulfillment. So
maybe you can market 5 GBs, but you can't do the 6th because you still haven't fulfilled any of them. Whereas today, you could literally run 50 simultaneous GBs and no one would be the wiser.
Christ and small vendor because our region is tiny as fuck. Don't worry, Paul. Paul, you're chilling, dude. Remember, those of you that don't know, again, reminder, I have no sponsors, I have no affiliations financially of any kind. Paul, in chat, runs Sandkeys, sandkeys.me. And Sandkeys, considering he lives 5 minutes away from me, like walking, keeps his margins very tight. And believe it or not, if you're in the EU, it's cheaper to fucking buy from Sandkeys than it is to buy from an EU vendor most of the time. Unless like Oblo is fucking like going wild.
Right? There's nothing structurally to prevent that.
All right.
And I'm not saying that we will create a
And also, the only reason why I'm promoting this and like telling you what I told you is because he is 5 minutes away. And if he fucks something up, I can go beat his ass. So
structure to prevent that, but we can at least create an environment where people are aware of the risk of that and make it less easy to allow unscrupulous vendors to exploit the situation. So those are and it's not easy, right? And everyone's like, naturally existing, and most vendors are are good, well-intentioned people. They're delivering on their promises, right? They're going through a difficult.
Paul would dunk on you. Okay, listen. Paul, I love you. Okay? You're a good friend of mine. And I love you with all my heart. And I know that you're like one of the most solid people of all time. I would fucking tear you to shreds if it came to that. I'm just saying. And you'd let me because you know that you'd let me. It's not sexual. It's not sexual. Okay?
Difficult time, and still we had you saw the announcement from Canon Keys from UPass, right? They're stepping in to help pick up the shit that fell apart, right, with Mexico. And so everyone's trying to do the right thing, right? Mm-hmm. And naturally they're worried that, hey, if we create these standards, like how are they going to be onerous, right? Like, how do you protect the confidentiality and proprietary information of a vendor while providing transparency? It's a difficult balance. This is not something that can be created by one group of people. It has to be a voluntary effort across all these people, right? Vendors, designers, influencers, moderators, etc. Maybe.
I mean, TLDR, like, there, right there. That's it. Do they care? Do they ship on time? Do they not have problems? That's it. That's it, dude. That's it. That's it. You want a good vendor? At any point, caring is very easy to tell. Are they communicative? Can you reach them? Are they, perceptive of people having smaller problems? Do they ship on time? That one is a fucking no-brainer. Do they have no problems? And as a qualifier, if there are problems, do they solve them fairly? That's it. That's a good vendor. Easy. Easy peasy. In the easy.
Manufacturers, who knows, right? That creates an environment where we can still have this great free market capitalism and everybody getting what they want and everybody making money fulfilling it, while at least mitigating some of the risks that caused Mexico.
This kind of leads into something else.
Isn't it a bad idea to have a trusted vendor title for following best practices? Kind of, yeah, because like obviously things can 180, but if things 180, I mean, no matter what, as somebody, as a customer putting money into a group buy, there's always a risk. Sure, there are methods that could be put into effect that would mitigate that risk. Notably, for example, reinvoicing on PayPal every 6 months, so you would have the capability of refunding if necessary. That, yeah. Literally do that. Force every vendor to do that. And the second they stop doing it, they lose trusted vendor role. Done. That's it. Because only a vendor that actually believes in their own ability to fulfill is going to agree to that. And worst case scenario, some people will get scammed instead of all the people. So, yeah. And yes, Novel Keys Mike absolutely stays winning. No, Mike is fucking solid. Mike is solid. Anthony is solid. Andrew is solid. Sorry. Novel Keys is solid. Canon Keys is solid. There's the third one. Don't worry about it.
Else though, Um,
To be fair, the reason why most people are very anti PayPal is because PayPal is a piece of shit company and their software doesn't work properly, and their entire business model is predicated on them finding a reason to lock your account and take your money for you. It is literally their MO. I know this because I set up a company in the US, and that's the reason why we have the benefit of getting the full sub revenue and the full donation revenue and whatnot. And I got a bank account and I did the KYC, and like I got a payment gateway through Stripe with the KYC, and like everybody validated everything is fine. And the second I signed up for PayPal, my account was locked within 24 hours because fuck me in particular. So yeah.
I mean, I think group buys.
I got cucked by my keyboard by misprint Canon key set. Is Canon key so base that I should contact them or just give up? Try. I mean, historically, based on like, actual like responses, maybe Canon keys will help you out. Maybe not as much as you'd like to, but like maybe they'll help you out. You can just be like, hey, this happened to me. Can I like do something? Can I send it back to you or something like that? Consider your options. Like Canon Keys is not an enormous enterprise, but historically they do the right thing, and that's all that fucking matters.
Will always still be a thing, right? Like especially if you're an individual
Yeah.
that doesn't want to work with a vendor, like group buys are kind of the only way. But we have these big established business vendors now.
Yeah.
Do you think? I mean, there's no way to implement it, but
Do you want the official or my official or a personal stance on this?
whichever one you prefer. Because I'm of the opinion like now we're at the point where like some of these vendors don't really need to run group buys anymore. Like they
Yeah.
should be at the point where they can, they should be making smart business decisions.
Yeah.
And if the product does well, then that's on them.
Drug addicts should stop.
I mean, to be fair, like at least talking from like a pre-order point of view, like going in and investing like a massive amount of capital to have boards on hand, you have to figure out what colors do people want, what additions, what plate options, all of that, and then you're sitting on the risk of what if, oh no, I got too many pink units, oh no, I got too many blue units and people don't fucking want them. What then? Because warehousing costs time and money, mostly money. If I have a warehouse space that's being taken up by 20 keyboards, that could be used to fulfill something else that's coming in. It's difficult. Like the group buy model exists for a very good reason, because you're essentially only buying things that people absolutely want to buy. So you're never in a situation in which you're like, oh no, I'm stuck with excess inventory. Unfortunately, the reason why we're seeing so many vendors with such financial difficulties now is not in terms of pre-order or group buy, but in terms of extras, where they look at a situation where they're like, all right, I got a 15, 20, 30, $40 markup on this particular key set and it will sell, but what if it fucking doesn't? That's the question. That's why we've seen all the good vendors like Oblo, Novel Keys, Canon Keys, those guys, even like Daily Clack, looking at large amounts of extras in stock and just being like, fuck it, I'm gonna sell it for under group buy price just to fucking get it off my table. But it's scary. All right, fuck, 1 second. Okay, I gotta read words. Let me read words. Vendors aren't going to run things that might be niche and already, yeah, absolutely. I don't think any vendor is gonna go all in stock. Yeah, dude, in stock it's a big fucking risk for sure. Just don't do stupid stuff with group buy money. Be responsible with extras. Yeah, but that's the thing. Being responsible with extras requires your ability to see the future. Nobody can fucking see the future. If we're in 2020 and we see that 2,000 people are interested in extras, but then when the time comes around 2 years later, when GMK finally fucking delivers, and out of the 2,000, there's like 100 people, you're sitting on like $200,000 of inventory. That's fucking crazy, dude. At the end of the day, like you said, there's really no incentive for vendors to not run group buys. Yeah, it's the least risky. Absolutely. it wouldn't be a smart business idea for them to not run group buys. Yes, absolutely. But sometimes, as a vendor, you will partake in extras, but the issue is like, how much extras? Let's say I'm a group buy runner and I know something is not going to hit MOQ. I'm going to buy extras as me, not even as a vendor. But then, like, am I going to be able to sell it? That's the question. Because if I can't sell it, then I'm fucked. And if I don't commit to being able to sell it, then the group buy doesn't happen. So it's a catch-22. I never bought from Gion. So for Gion, when he sells keyboards, most of them are in stock. Gion does proper pre-order. So Gion will produce the units and then sell them. It might take like a month to ship, but they actually exist. Unless he specifically says group buy. Group buy means it's being produced in an external factory. Something like Glare, for example. Factor in how timelines keep changing with manufacturers. Sure, but timelines are mostly an indication of the the demand aspect, not the supply aspect. Look at somebody like GMK, who's like, we're going to improve our blah, blah, blah. No, fuck that, okay? GMK timelines slowed equally to the amount of new demand, okay? Getting new production lines and new machines to sort didn't fucking do shit, okay? And then they started upping their margins, blah, blah, blah. That's a discussion for another time. We've read through their financial reports. Anyway, generally, the risk that we take when we as customers give money to a vendor or a group buy runner is only like half or a third of the equation, because then that person has to deal with the manufacturer. And then what if that manufacturer has over leveraged themselves? What if that manufacturer is unable of actually, delivering on time? Those are the big questions. Like, it's a lot of fucking risks. Selling group buy stuff on the group buy price will discourage the people that join group buy to join the next group buy. Yeah, that's a problem for another time. I don't think it takes seeing the future to know buying 2.5 times extras for a set that won't reach MLQ is insane, though. Sign of the times. You don't fucking know. Look at something like GMK Mictlan. The what is it? The Festival of Death or whatever the fuck. Like South American. He said, you know the one. It was $99, and their MOQ is fucking massive. And realistically, they can still kind of get rid of it. But then you look at other key sets, like what was it, GMK, like Espresso or some shit that we looked at, where one vendor apparently picked up like 1,500 extras. Yeah, that's not gonna sell, bro. Like, whoever picked that up is not gonna have a good time. But generally, like, yes, it is about being smart, but like any business or any enterprise where, making money is part of the equation, there are incentives for you to over leverage yourself at times. It's just like the incredible fucking slowdown of the demand aspect of the hobby has just turned everybody back on their heads, and it's kind of wild. Isn't there a hybrid way of doing things? Half the keyboards in common colors. It's hard. It's hard. Trust me, it's hard. It's hard. Yeah. All right. Let's finish this up. And I say that with like fucking 20 minutes left to go. Let's finish
Stop
this
using
up.
drugs too.
Wait, what?
Why don't they? Drug addicts should stop using drugs too.
No, you shouldn't. Drugs are great. Keep doing drugs. Simon approved. Do all the drugs, as long as it's legal.
Why don't they just stop using drugs?
They're addicted,
right? I mean, it's a fair point. And look, personally, as somebody who is an entrepreneur, right? Many a times have I been tempted to become a keyboard vendor, because this to me is a very unique situation in this market that essentially allows for a risk-free business to start.
Yeah.
It's
if you do your business correctly, it is risk-free. If you make stupid business decisions, then you open yourself to a black hole of risk.
Risk-free, virtually risk-free, okay? It's not to say that there isn't hard work. I don't want to belittle or minimize the amount of work it still takes to build a big commercial business in the space. It takes work and effort, right? But you're not going out and raising capital from investors, reporting to a board, having fiduciary oversight, paying interest on those loans, right? You don't have any of those traditional things that you do in other businesses. So on the left here, this is the intent of what a group buy was for. On the right, generating millions and millions of revenue is not what the intent of a group buy was. To be fair, that on the right was not what the group buy intent was.
Yeah, it was.
Right?
Absolutely.
So should businesses maybe start with group buys and then work to achieve a point where they're sustainable and can invest and pre-invest in their own? Absolutely. Is there an incentive for them to do that? There isn't today. There is no incentive.
I would think there is, because like, let's say you're let's say one of the big vendors. I won't name anyone.
Oh, Nathan, you're saying words. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be nice because I like you. You're a good dude.
But like, they come out and say, "Oh, this product, it's already paid for. It's already made. It's in stock," and like that becomes their sustained business model forward. I think they would have a huge positive, like, public image with customers as well, and be like, "Oh yeah, they don't run group buys anymore."
They can do that today with the money of the consumer by funding the group buy.
I mean, right now, yes, but like, is that sustainable long term?
I mean, if we're talking sustainability, like cash flow is cash flow. So like the whole point of cash flow. All right, we're MS Painting, boys. We're MS Painting. All right, the whole point of cash flow is if we talk about money, and let's say you start with 0 money, okay, and here is like 100 monies, and here is negative 100 monies, right? So let's say I want to do group buy, right? I want to finance a group buy, not finance a group buy, but collect money for a group buy. That gets me up to 100 real fucking quick. So fast that like I bend the rules of space and time, okay? But then I want to use that money for, stocking, in-stock stuff and whatnot. So I drop to negative cash flow. And I can stay at negative cash flow, and that's fine as a business, as long as this exists, as long as I can actually pay for it if it drops below. So my situation can't be I can't afford shit under this line, because if I can't afford shit under this line, I'm fucked. But if I can, it's fine. It'll take time and maybe it'll dip under. But the important point is, at some point when my group buy needs to be delivered, I can reach cash flow 0 or cash flow positive at that point. And whatever, it's fine. It's business. That's how business works, Like, I know most of you watching this stream are looking at this from a customer perspective, but like a lot of businesses will lose money. You can lose money as long as you can afford to lose money. That's it. If you can afford to lose money, that means you can get down here and the business doesn't fucking shut down. It's fine as long as you can bounce back and you fulfill your obligations. That's it. As long as you can fulfill your fucking obligations, it's fine. You can go cash flow negative. The issue is, in our hobby, what happened was a lot of people were like, well, I can collect money way off screen, okay? And I'm going to use that to buy a lot of group buys. Way under screen. Way under screen. But this is what I can actually afford to give. Let me make it red just for consistency. This is what I actually can... Oh, no. Oops. OBS. All right. This is what I can actually afford to give, right? And a lot of vendors got down here, and they stayed down here for too low. And they had, they had cost to cover. They had staff, rent, business expenses, small fulfillments, and that was a fucking problem. So at this point, from a pure business perspective, what do? Well, you got to take a loan, and that bumps you up to here, but then that money has interest, so that money is not a straight line, right? But are you capable of actually getting that interest? Loans. Are you actually capable of getting those loans? Unclear. But what happened, the simplest version is we ended up here with businesses that could not actually handle being down there. That's it. It's fairly fucking simple. And it's fine. You can go negative cash flow. You can lose money in the interim as long as you can actually fucking afford it.
Is what I'm getting at. Like, if you want to become the next level vendor.
That's what I meant with the timeline, that it would greatly affect cash flow for extras. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, the general rule of thumb for like any business cash flow wise is like, okay, if maximum potential loss is negative 100, you plan for negative 33. So even if you're wrong by a factor of 2, you're still chilling. But people over leveraged, and it happens. It fucking happens. But interestingly enough, it did not happen to any of what I would consider good vendors that follow the good vendor rules, because good vendors will think twice. You know why? Because good vendors, they care. That's it. That's it. Like, if you care, you're not gonna fucking do something stupid, because you're gonna be like, okay, well, if I am wrong, me as one person is gonna fuck up the lives of 1,000 people. Maybe let's not fucking do that. I mean, that's what I would do. That's what any good fucking vendor would do, But other vendors are like, oh, but if I take in $1 million, just numbers out of my ass, for this group buy, and I take $700,000 to pay for this in stock buy, then I'm gonna make all the profit from the 700 investment and the 1 million investment, and it's gonna be amazing because we live in fucking Narnia. Yeah, it's basically fucking gambling. Yeah, like, you have to define your risk tolerance, and as a company, your risk tolerance should be relatively fucking low. I mean, I run a fucking business. I run, okay, we'll keep it stream related. I run Black Simon TV. I don't spend money I don't have. I don't spend money I don't have with a forward cash flow projection of 3 to 5 months. That means if like in the reverse of what you fucking think. It means that I should be able to cover the expenses that happen today 5 months from now, in addition to the expenses that would additionally happen. Like, it's like super, super secure. Yes, trust. Very, very secure. I mean, I fucking show my like business bank account on stream. You guys know how much money comes in and whatnot. But like, I'm already saving money now for Thoctober, because I know for Thoctober I'm gonna have to finance a lot of giveaways, shit like that. LLC has never made a profit. It doesn't need to make a profit. I don't care about fucking profit. I care about fulfilling my obligation. So, for example, Thoctober, I know I'm building a Kohaku. I know I'm building a polycarbonate 910, both of which to give away. I know that there will be additional things brought in. I know that I will have to pay for logistics and everything for all the other things. I know that like I have 2, 3, up to like $4,000 that I need to spend in Thoctober for the Thoctober giveaway, and I'm budgeting for that now. Now I need to have $3,000-$4,000 in the bank account. So yeah, what about the scuffed polis? It's not scuffed. We're gonna make a custom plate, custom weight, custom everything for it, and it's gonna be very special. And some very special lad is gonna fucking get that. It's gonna be a very special gift. Let's finish this video. Fuck. For vendors such as Oblo, Keygem, Eloquent, my favorite vendors, considering they've often contacted, did not go down, does that mean they're doing well? Yes. Yeah, that's it. Remember, do they care? That means, do they communicate? Do they resolve problems? 2, do they ship on time? Yes. Do they have no problems? Or solve their problems? Fine. Fine.
Right. That I can't answer about the future, right? Mm-hmm. Is will it continue to be sustainable? I don't know, right? But there's no signs that the group buy model is going away right now, even in this downturn, right? So I think we have to operate, if we're going to try and figure out how do we mitigate risk, we have to do it under the assumption that the group buy model will continue, right? It would be my hope, like to your point, that if once vendors get large enough, they don't need to do it. But I don't know if we'll get.
Remember that there is the group buy model, and then there is the in-stock/pre-order model. The group buy model assumes you have no upfront capital, and therefore you have to give a good price to the end customer. The in-stock versus pre-order model means you can upcharge by a certain percentage to basically offset the risk. And they're basically mutually exclusive, where if I have the capital to go and, spend on 200 units of the NWO 5000, for example, I'll pay it out of pocket, and I'm going to put an upcharge to factor in my risk. So basically, you as a customer have the option of either paying for raw risk, which is, group buy might go south, fulfillment may take a while, company might go under, or I can take the risk of customers will not buy, and it's fine. It works. Hard for group buy to stay away when a lot of this hobby is just cool individuals trying to share their products. Yeah, absolutely. And that's like, for me, that's like the epitome of this hobby is, the epitome of this hobby is people being like, this is the dumbest shit I have ever made, and I really fucking like it. Do you like it too? If enough people say yes and support me financially, we will make it happen. That is this hobby in a fucking nutshell. Everything above that is not this hobby. It's not hobbyism. It's actual like capitalism.
Get there or not, right? And some of these things are so niche, like highly customized keyboards and things like, we're talking generically about group buys. I think it might happen based on the product, right? So certain products, maybe it'll get to the point, and I know some vendors are like pre-funding, keyboard kits and stuff. It's great to see that happen, right? They're in-stock items that people can buy. And so it might happen that group buys become maybe less popular or less utilized over time for certain products, right? Maybe.
Yeah. And I think this situation also raised an interesting light from like the manufacturer side as well. Like I would have assumed that, at the position GMK is in, at some point they would have been like, okay, like you need to stop placing orders with us until you pay off the remaining,
Yeah, I think it makes sense on the surface. Intuitively, that makes sense. But if you think about them as a business that are serving not just vendors in our hobby, but other commercial entities, they're just looking at orders coming in, right? They don't really know the details of like, hey, is the person who placed the order, running their operations in a way that's risky? They don't even do that for their own. Like to be fair, it's not the role of a manufacturer to police that, right? And as I said, even if they happen to know it, it's hard. There's no formal method where they can disclose that information in a way that doesn't, create business issues for them, right? It's part of this environment we've created where there isn't a way to do that. Now, GMK happens to have a liaison in the community who we're also talking with and who'll be part of these discussions. And maybe there are certain vendors, where at least we can open some channels to make sure that, if there's early warnings that can come up, maybe we can do that. But we have to be, again, careful to honor the confidentiality and relationships between vendors and manufacturers.
I mean, again, all this can be solved by just factoring in a re-invoicing every 6 months to allow everybody the right to charge back if necessary or refund when necessary. Will this get archived on YouTube? Of course it will. Of course it will. For those of you that are still watching, okay, exclamation VODs. Okay, that is the YouTube VOD channel. Sub to the YouTube VOD channel. It is run entirely by the recap team. That means any money brought in goes directly to the recap team, and they upload everything. They timestamp everything. It's very bitchin'. You should absolutely sub to Black Simon Live. It's pretty good.
Manufacturers like
you have a recap team? Yeah. It allows me to do something like this, recap, where there is a spreadsheet that has every scoring of everything I have ever fucking looked at. Let me look at the 5th of August. Oh, look, here's the things. Here's the timestamps to the YouTube video. Here's the score that I gave it. Here's why I gave it that score. God bless the recap team. Yep, that's the recap team. To be fair, they get paid more than I do. They get 0 instead of negative.
Who would they go to? That would be a third party to report a problem, right? About one of their customers. So it's not.
Your VOD on YouTube means I don't have to go to Twitch for VODs. I mean, it's better because you have timestamps on YouTube anyway.
Not an easy, yes, it makes sense in theory. In practice, it's much more difficult to implement something.
You edit a 120.
But absolutely, there's a reason why they're on the list, right? Is like they're a factor, right? They're a variable, right? So if I were to like, kind of indicate kind of who the big players are, right? It's like you've got vendors, you've got manufacturers, you've got designers, you've got influencers, and you've got moderators. Maybe there's some others, but I think these are.
I don't like the term influencers, and I don't like the term like consumers, but whatever, fuck it. Like, I'm not an influencer, I'm a content creator. Like, as a result, sure, I might influence your decision just like anybody else might, but my job is not to influence your decision. My job is to, give you information. So fuck it.
These are the big ones, right? So these 5 parties, right? What can they do, right, to ensure?
I'm not. No, it says like streamers may have a financial interest. I don't. That's it. I have no financial interest, nor will I ever. So I will never not wish to cause drama. I will cause drama. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to tell you exactly what I fucking think. Therefore, not an influencer.
Sure, or at least to mitigate some of the risk in the future. There's no easy answer. Nobody's paying anybody to come up and solve this problem.
You have financial interest in Illuminati keyboards, checkmate. I never review any Illuminati boards because that would be a conflict of interest. So, yeah, if I was running a group buy, I would not cover it because obviously I think it's great. That's why I'm running it.
There's no money involved in solving. There's no financial reward. You're going to piss people off attempting to do it.
Yeah.
Right. So there's no upside personally to anyone to do this. But, if you believe in that people all have good intention and there are people that love this community, they're going to try and at least volunteer.
You influence Paul's store page by changing stock. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I help Paul manage his online store. To be fair, I help a lot of larger vendors handle their online stores. Like, I have back-end access to a lot of fucking vendors because as the nice guy that I am, I'm just like, sure, dude, I'll help you out with your marketing and analytics for free. Fuck it. Like, I'll do it pro bono, dude. I don't care. Like, I do it for the hobby. But yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna list any vendors, but there are vendors that pull, $5 to $10 million a year that like I help manage their backends and like help them with analytics and marketing.
Here's some time to see if something can be done.
Yeah, it'll be a slow cultural community shift that needs to happen.
And it cannot happen
That's revenue, not profit, by the way, obviously.
through one group. It has to be like these groups working together. And I'm confident in, that all these groups, generally want to do the right thing. And if we, there's no downside to doing the right thing. That's the other thing, right? Like if we can create a sustainable, way that you can continue this, then it only helps the vendors, right? Nobody wants to create like uncertainty in the market. Right?
Yeah.
So I think there's plenty of upside to doing it, even though it might require some compromise here and there.
Yeah. And I feel like nowadays more than ever, people definitely have become more vocal if they do see something that's wrong or maybe not looking right. Sometimes a little too vocal, but I think
there's always that.
Before everybody goes, oh, Simon, why is it in a dark mode? Because this is my streaming account. It's not my real account.
And by the way, part of it is like, look, how do we create some systems or processes where we can channel that so that it doesn't create toxicity? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like, if you feel like there's a vendor that's abusive, right? Or a moderator that's, or whatever, like we're talking generally about vendors, but you brought up the moderator thing early. Like those are examples where we need more mature processes in the hobby to address those things so that they don't become toxic issues.
Yeah.
Right. I think that, we don't need formal processes for all these things. And I do believe in the community is a really good way of self-correcting and fixing issues on its own, especially with respect to like scammers and people like that, right?
Yeah.
But I think Mex & Co is proof that we can't prevent everything.
Yeah,
for sure.
Right, and so what can we do to augment our organic safeguards with a little bit more formalized ones?
Yeah. Well, I know I know you've been kind of talking with the other moderators of the platforms. Do
Hmm.
you guys currently have like a Google Doc or anything for like submissions from
It's
community
very, yeah,
members?
we have something that we're circulating internally. It's very, very early drafts. And
Hmm.
as you can imagine, a lot of the initial stuff is going to be just figuring out with vendors what's even feasible,
Right.
right? So it's eventually going to get to the point where we'll open.
Ah, this is too heavy. This is too heavy. This is too heavy for me. I need a lighthearted. I need a. I can't. I'm sorry, boys. This is too much. This is too much. Oh, all right. Stevie Oki have something decent. Oh, long pull. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're doing long pull.
네, 다원류입니다. 예전에 올린 A104 프로 영상에서는 프로토타입 샘플을 살펴봤었는데요. 영상을 올리고 나서 정식 발매 모델과 함께 출시 예정인 스위치를 보내주셨습니다. 근데 그 사이에 이미 출시가 됐다고 하네요. 키보드는 똑같지만 새로운 컬러, 새로운 스위치니까 일단 타건부터 해보겠습니다.
Bro, I can't wait to fucking go to Korea and meet DBO. It's confirmed, by the way. Gion is gonna like hook me up. We're gonna go to his house. Right.
이런 느낌. 도각도각하죠. 근데 이런 리뷰는 너무 많고 스펙에 대한 분석이나 소리 비교와 같은 컨텐츠도 이미 유튜브에 다 있으니까 저는 오늘 약간
I'm curious, does Gion allow factory visit if you ever in Korea and send an email for permission? Like me? I mean, Gion and I are friends, so like I can show up. Like I know him and his wife and kids. You know, and he's welcome here anytime as well. So like if I'm there, I'm gonna go see his factory. But if if you're an unknown person, I don't know because like he has business to do that's non-keyboard related. Oh no, DBOK has no idea. We're literally gonna raid his house, by the way.
키보드 덕후의 관점으로 스위치에 대한 이야기를 해볼까 합니다. 일단 기존 다원류의 리니어 스위치인 스카이 스위치는 평범한 리니어입니다. 사실 이것도 안 평범한데 요즘 기준으로는 평범하다고 해야 할 것 같습니다. 경쾌하고 깔끔하죠. 반면 새로 나온 스노우 스위치는 조금 더 묵직한 반발력이 있고 스위치를 눌렀다는 느낌도 더 강합니다. 요즘 말로 바닥을 치는 리니어, 줄여서 바칠이라고 많이 부르죠. 사실 모든 스위치의 슬라이더는 바닥에 닿습니다. 근데 바칠이라고 부르는 스위치들은 기둥이 바닥에 닿는 리니어 스위치를
Gion's house is not in North Korea. I know where his house is.
말하는데요. 왜 바닥을 치는 텍타일은 바치텍이라고 안 부를까요? 이럴 거면 그냥 바닥을 치는 기둥, 줄여서 박치기. 해외에서는 쇼폴과 롱폴로 부르고 슬라이더 길이가 13.5mm 전후인 스위치로 나눠서 구분하고 있는데 중요한 것은 바닥에 닿는다는 것입니다. 가스켓 마운트에 흡음재를 많이 넣은 키보드들이 등장하면서 평범한 리니어 스위치를 조합하면 조금 심심하거나 어딘가 2% 부족한 듯한 느낌이 들 수 있습니다. 근데 롱폴 스위치들은 타건감과 타건음이 조금 더 자극적.
They are indeed funnier. All right. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start a raid while we watch the rest of this video because fuck it. Is anybody doing keyboards? Probably fucking not. It's the apocalypse. Yep, nobody's fucking doing keyboards. I was planning for a super short stream, but I'm just like, fuck it, may as well.
Okay. nagyjából dumcsisztunk én.
Okay, cool. There's nobody except for me. Alright, so we're gonna raid like ducks or some shit.
적이기 때문에 일반적인 리니어 스위치보다 재밌고 강한 걸
Okay. On that note, fuck it. We're doing Sea Shanty 2. Okay. As we pick, who is gonna get raided? 1 for ducks, 2 for chickens. Alright, yeah, ducks have got it. I apologize for like ending stream like abruptly, but like I was up like 14 hours ago. Like streamed right after work and I'm fucking hungry, dude. I'll see you guys on Saturday for group buy reviews, as is customary. Maybe we'll cover a little bit more of the Jihi types video. Okay. Those of you that subbed, those of you that followed, thank you all very much. I do appreciate it. And hop in the Discord so you can get bullied for the next 8 months. Wow. Alright, wait. Is Jihi still watching?
I fucking love nubs.
Yeah. Alright. Thank you boys for watching. I'll see you soon. Wow. Sorry, I was showing off my video capabilities because not all of us can afford a C70. Peace. Our raid message is this, by the way. It's Black Simon Bodhi. Okay? Black Simon Bodhi in the chat. That one. Oh. Alright, fuck it. Give me that good shit. Give me that sweet, sweet good shit.